Hello and welcome back to the Metropole Grid. My name is Andrej.
I'm Patrick.
And thanks so much for tuning in. This is the fourth round of the top 8 here at the Canadian Nationals 2016 in Toronto, Ontario.
Right. We've got two pretty good players facing off against each other here.
Heyo, on the left, that's Aaron Celovsky. Aaron is... I love playing against Aaron. He's such a friendly dude.
Yeah, he's a nice guy and is a very strong player.
Yeah,
always good games.
Very technical player. You don't see Aaron make those small mistakes you see in other players, forget to take a credit, stuff like that. Incredibly technical, tracks, clicks, all of that stuff. He plays the good stuff too. Here we have Andromeda. In the top 8, we had actually pretty good distribution of IDs.
Yeah, all three runner factions were represented in one way or another.
And the only faction that wasn't represented in the top 8 was Jinteki.
Right.
Which is a bit surprising.
Sure.
But nonetheless, just about everything was there. On the right, that's me. Hey.
Hey, Andrej.
I'm still here. 4 rounds in, I haven't lost.
What?
Yeah, I haven't lost yet, and neither has Aaron. And this is actually technically who decides who goes into the top, the final.
Yeah.
This is what, the semifinal? Yeah, this is the semifinal? The upper semifinal? I always never understood what those terms meant.
Apparently.
I think that's what a semifinal is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me. I'm playing an ETF deck. Slightly embarrassingly, I didn't build this deck, which is usually something I always bring my homebrews.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this event, so I kind of just went online and looked at a deck on Netrunner DB that I liked the look of.
Sure, yeah, that's
And
fine.
huge shout out to somebody named Maxi, I think from the UK, who did really well with this deck. It was the Jammy Rushy HB deck. I took it card for card, and I played it maybe once or twice before this event. It was just a really strong deck and very well positioned in the meta. And we're totally off with lateral growth and 1 ice on each server.
Cool. Lateral Growth is a great new card for HB.
Lovely card. And I think this sort of play where it's no longer like putting an Adonis and ice it, where you actually put ice on every server is...
Because of
Temujin. You need to respect that. There is a chance that, a criminal will not Temujin turn 1 as Andy, just because you'd have to discard cards.
That's right.
But still against Andy,
You don't want to take that risk. That's a lot of money.
Against Andromeda that denies things from the opening hand, like Dirty Laundry.
Yep.
So putting ice on every server is kind of useful for that. It does slow you down a bit because you can't expand rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
But now Andy's just gonna slow down and not gonna do any rushing.
Right.
Worth noting that actually the 6th round of top 8, I played against Aaron.
Oh.
Yeah, and we split. So we are meeting again. This is the matchup that I lost. He played his Andy against my HB and won handedly. So I'm a bit worried. I know I can beat his corp if it comes to it, but this is a matchup that I'm not entirely sure of.
And each of you know what's in the other's deck now.
Exactly. So he knows there's not brainstorms. I am fast advancing. There are 3 biotics in this deck, so he knows what he has to do. It's a blue level clearance, a card that I've liked more and more ever since playing a lot of it. There's an upgrade on HQ. That is for sure Crucium Grid.
Yeah, it would have to be.
I think otherwise it could be a bluff. We're checking the remotes.
Okay, UI.
I think before Aaron ran that, his words were, please not architect, and he's okay with that.
Yeah.
We are doing some face checking this turn. Running HQ, that's going to be an Enigma.
All right, that's a bit rough.
A nice full, yeah, he loses a click there. Still 1 click to load caddy. The way that I looked at my hand before I rezzed the Enigma makes you think that there's probably at least one agenda in there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of unfortunate, but that's what you have to do sometimes. We're still trying to install once a turn.
Yep.
And then get the hedge fund out.
Take advantage of that ID ability.
Yep.
Make money.
So installing in a new remote is something that's also interesting against Criminal because you have to be able to res that ice even if it's protecting nothing. Just because they can Temujin the remote and then run 3 times or even bank job it or something like that. So any ice that you put out, you're going to have to want to res it. So if that's an Ichi, that's actually a pretty bad res.
Yeah.
That's a bad position for an Ichi, regardless, I think.
Ichi should be on the outside.
I think, Ichi should always be in front of a gear check of some sort, an ice that has an end to run on it that requires a certain breaker.
Yep.
But right now, things are looking good. I'm keeping him out. He doesn't have the money to Temujin, and he does have Desperado, so Temujin and Desperado is easy money.
That's rough, yeah.
If he can get into a server. But right now, I'm really putting a lot of effort into making sure he can't get in.
Yeah. Ooh, Mongoose. I like that card.
I've actually, started not liking Mongoose a lot.
No, but Ricky Tiki Tavi.
No, I know, and I love the flavor and everything to it. But I found Mongoose to be a bit of a... I found more corps playing around it.
Okay.
And
the double sentry in your
yeah,
servers?
the
Sure.
double sentry is quite potent. But also I've seen I think Mongoose was better in a meta that had a lot more Jinteki in it. Maybe not so good right now. I don't know. It's still a good sentry breaker.
Yeah,
I don't want to digress too much. It looks like I'm setting up a scoring remote there.
absolutely.
I think you definitely want to go for 2 pieces of ice just to respect that ever-present inside job.
Yep, it's always going to be there.
Ever since the core set, always good, never rotates.
And
That is a sports opera.
okay, a little bit of protection, a little bit of card draw.
Yeah, I think it's the card draw that's important. That card is also really good when you're playing Andromeda and playing against things like controlling the message or sync.
Oh, absolutely.
That link is totally useful. Spending 2 clicks to boost the CTM trace, controlling the message trace.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
pretty good.
Because she starts with one link. People
Exactly.
forget that.
Yeah, Andy link is very valuable. We have something into that remote. Easily could be agenda at this point in time.
And you've got lots of money to res things.
I do have money to rest things. He's only shown the Mongoose, which I don't think is the best breaker for contesting a scoring remote all the time.
Probably not.
Generally, the sentries, I keep them on to centrals just because those require repeated runs.
Yep.
But it doesn't always have to be the case. Sometimes you just have to play the cards that you draw in Netrunner. We are drawing up right there real aggressively with that sports cart.
Yeah, he's hoping to find a good breaker that can maybe contest that remote.
Yes, he needs a breaker or one of his 2 special orders.
Sure.
He's only running 2 special orders in this deck, so they are pretty valuable. Remember, you can same old thing special order, which sometimes it doesn't seem useful for clicks, but sometimes
But if it gets you the card you need.
yeah, if you need a breaker, you need a breaker.
For sure.
Single ice on HQ. I do have that Crisium protection, but you could just put down a passport, something like a passport,
Yeah.
and then be able to start siphoning in 1 or 2 turns.
Oh, that's rough.
That's something that you do have to respect. The thing with HB, with this never advanced play, which is super strong with all these 3-2 agendas, is that you don't know whether that's an agenda or not.
No, you could just be baiting him, making him spend his resources, show you what he's got.
Yeah.
And that's just an Ash, a Breaker Bay.
It easily could be an Adonis. Interestingly enough, Maxi, hey Maxi, your deck doesn't run Adonis in it, which is something I support. It is running actually advanced assembly lines in the Adonis
Oh,
place.
of course.
Which is it's not as much money, but it's a much more aggressive rush-based deck. And I love playing rush decks.
I love Advanced Assembly Lines. That's such a cool card.
That card has grown on me way more than when I think we unboxed it originally, many moons ago. Temujin is out.
All right, what server is that going on?
I think it's on R&D.
Okay.
Shout outs to the Torsal Grid giving us these lovely Temujin and security testing server markers.
Yeah.
Just for showing up.
Yeah, I got a couple of those. They're really helpful.
Really useful cards. We have 20 credits on the Temujin. That is a nutty card. And even without a breaker, you can just click through Eli.
2 clicks for 4 credits is totally fair.
Even with the Desperado, that's 5 credits
Oh,
and
yeah.
an access. Not so bad at all. That sports card did replace itself. So we can still keep drawing aggressively, but I can tell he does not have breakers, does not have a special order.
Right.
So we are just Vitruviusing out. 2 points on the board. The strategy with this deck is generally score a food as fast as possible.
Okay. So he's dirty laundering. I'm guessing R&D.
Yeah, definitely.
Gonna click through the Eli.
Click.
Get
Gets a
lots of
single
money.
access. You will get a bunch of money for
And
that.
you get the money before you access too, so you can use that for trashing. You can use
Yeah.
it for vamps.
That's an Eli off the top.
All right, he sees an Eli.
It's actually a pretty good ice to draw at this point. Double Eli is largely unclickable.
Yep.
So that's something I probably will throw up on R&D. But the money is still coming in through daily casts, through Temujin, through the slow caddy. That's a really strong econ that he doesn't have to run for besides the Temujin.
Yep.
And I think with all this ice and me respecting how he's playing, caddy is a big card in this matchup.
Yeah. So you've just installed again over R&D.
Yes, and
I feel
there
like
is
it's the Eli.
It's probably the Eli. There is a card in that remote. Man, I've been drawing good money. Real good money coming in. We haven't seen any assembly lines. There's a chance that is an assembly lines. 2 cards off the Earthrise. 3 more cards in theory off of that sports
He's got
sports
great
hopper.
card draw.
Yeah, and we can see that he can easily drop down a single breaker and try an inside job this server.
Yeah.
Like 2 ice is a bit dodgy. In theory, you want 3 ice, all of different types,
Yep.
to really.
And he's
gear
either
check.
going to throw down a barrier breaker or a code gate breaker and just have to hope he picked the right one.
Yeah, it's up to him.
But I like that kind of Netrunner.
That's an interesting 50-50. You have a bit more added information based off of what cards are rezzed on centrals.
Sure.
So if you want to put down the code gate breaker, maybe you're assuming that's a Turing on the remote,
Yep.
and you want a code gate breaker that also gives you HQ pressure.
He's almost certain it's not an Eli. Because he's seen the two Elis.
Yeah. Even if it's an Eli, you can click through maybe.
Sure.
But the other option is put down a barrier breaker, which would help you on R&D on what you can assume is also 2 Elis in a row.
Yep.
So we're going to see how the 50-50 goes here. This is a really important fork. And it looks like we're going for the Gordian.
Okay, cool.
So he's assuming there's a Turing on the remote.
Yep.
Or also he wants that code gate pressure on HQ. Maybe he has siphons in hand.
Oh, sure.
I've been interested. These new criminals that I saw at this event, particularly, were not on siphon spam.
Oh, really?
They were running 3 siphons, usually 1, maybe 2 same old things. And
it wasn't the core of the deck. It
no,
wasn't the
exactly. Yeah. It's a bit different than some of the older criminals, which have gone full siphon down.
Yep.
So Gordian's going to hit the table. I think you might have, 2 clicks left. That's the inside job.
There's the inside job.
So this needs to be a barrier. Inside job, getting over that architect.
Okay.
That's an interesting remote ice. Not so good and
Oh
perfect.
my god, it's a barrier. That's vanilla. That didn't cost you anything. It kept him out.
So for 4 credits, kept him out of the server, and he still has 1 click left, always for Caddy. Well played on that regard. Triple advance, another Vitruvius.
Oh, well played. There we go.
This game has got really interesting because at this point in the game, triple biotic scores the food.
Yeah. Okay.
Possible.
And as you have confessed, you have 3 biotics.
3 biotics is a
Are
thing
you going to try to
do.
triple biotic a food?
I doubt it. I think double biotic, 2 biotic scores is probably the way to go.
Yeah. You don't think he has a clot? You don't think he has anything that
No,
can shut that down?
Definitely no clot. Again, we played before, so he knows also how much of a fast advance threat he's on. Oh, totally worth saying. I goofed pretty hard here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I felt really bad about this. Aaron asked me how many cards I had in my hand, which is displayed there clumsily on the table.
Yep.
And I said an amount which wasn't correct. And then Aaron looked over and said, like, that looks like more cards than you said. And he was right. And then I apologized profusely. But that's actually
scary.
That's a really big deal. This is something that you should get a warning for. In the rules, that is a warning. We didn't call a judge over. It didn't seem necessary at the point. But I felt really bad for that. You got to be careful about the information you give it because you can get in trouble for that sort of stuff if you are saying things that aren't right.
Yeah.
Dirty laundry on archives.
Okay.
He was praying for that to be not a barrier, but that's the kind of barrier he's okay with.
Yeah. And now he's seen all the Elis, so that's some information.
Well, he doesn't know for sure where the Eli is on R&D.
That's right. It could just be in your hand.
It could be in my hand, and that's also good information to play with.
Okay.
Sometimes you want to make it look like it's an Eli,
But really you've installed a brainstorm.
Yeah, the worst case scenario, something like that.
Yeah.
So he spent most of his click just getting money.
Yeah. He's got more card draw now. He's got the Earthrise Hotel.
Yeah, and still no way into that server.
Yeah, he's really hoping for that barrier breaker soon.
He does need a barrier breaker.
Gone through more than half the deck for sure.
Another piece of ice there in front of the Enigma on HQ just to make the HQ access not so easy. Because it's only 1 credit, which you get back with a Gordian if you run last click. Mm-hmm. Which is pretty good.
Drawing more.
Yeah, did he just peel off with a hopper?
Yeah, he did. That's some clickless draw.
He's really looking for something. You see his hand there?
I see another Mongoose.
I
thought I saw a Femme
Fisk
Fatale.
and a same old thing.
Yeah.
So same old thing is his slow option to get another special order.
Special order to get your last breaker out, sure.
You can aggressively Fisk at this point too. I don't know how good that is because that will feed me combo cards like
yeah, and he knows you've got biotic, so
yeah, and I have the money to go off on that.
Well, his deck has so much card draw that's really interesting.
Yeah, he has a really strong.
On top of even starting with Andromeda, like he wants to get the cards he needs very quickly.
That's the thing is with the kind of the Temujin credits and these breakers, which are pretty good in Desperado. Once you get your multi-access up, which I'm pretty sure he has multi-access.
For sure.
Probably turning wheel, maybe medium. Once things are set up, there's not much else you need in the game.
Nope.
Once you have all that criminal money and it's rewarding you for making runs. Right now, I'm keeping him out of that middle part of the equation, which is making successful runs. He does need another card just to get in. And there we go.
Okay.
Investing in me, investing in him. That is 3 cards to each side.
So he's... So
I don't think he's found it yet. He's found
I think I saw an inside job.
Employee strike seems to be there. Same old thing's on the table. So he knows that for sure next turn he can get out his last
breaker. His
I always
barrier
get
breaker.
his name wrong. The paperclip.
Paperclip, right?
He can get the paperclip out for sure. but it's going to be a bit click intensive. He'll save some of that by throwing out the paperclip, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
There we have the employee strike.
Okay, so he's going to keep you from getting a couple credits here.
Yeah. Right here at the, like, when the corp has 4 to 5 points, employee strike gets a lot better
Yep.
because, it's probably going to be around until the end of the game.
Until the end of the game, whenever that is.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's always really annoying for the corp. I do have a lot of options in hand. I made an effort at this tournament not to watch my hand and more watch the players. So you see I put my hand down there, which is not something I usually do. I usually shuffle. I actually enjoyed watching the other player more. You can get a lot of reads off of just seeing their mannerisms and
That's
the
something
cards
I
they
need to learn
consider.
to do more.
I think it's really useful.
Yeah.
Here I'm going to ask about the archives. This was before Arc Lockdown has come out. We're only on Blood Money at this point, but there is a really important card in my deck, which I have 2 of, Kronos Project.
Oh, boy.
And
That's a fun card.
It's a really good card.
That's a really good card in a paperclip-filled meta.
Exactly. This is when Paperclip was big. Looks like we're biotic something out, and you know what? That is the Kronos.
Did you see a paperclip in his heap?
No, I totally didn't, but I
Okay.
did see a couple things. I saw Inside Jobs.
And you don't want that same old thing.
Most importantly, we all knew that he was 1 turn away from same old thinging a special order.
Oh, that's a good point.
So now he needs to find his other special order or find his paperclip, which is going to slow him down.
Sure. And you only need 1 agenda to win. And
I
it can
now
be a
only need
3-2.
1 agenda to win, which is also a really big thing as I can biotic out. We had a little discussion here whether scoring Kronos Project removes the current.
My assumption would be it removes the current and then the current's removed from the game.
Exactly, it does.
Okay.
I think that's the correct ruling, is that
Because it's things happening at the same time, happening on your turn.
the score trigger of the agenda fires first, then the when scored ability fires first, and the
Yeah.
current is removed on when the score thing happens.
Yeah, you're
whatever
making gestures with your hand.
Yeah, that doesn't
and that's
work
fine.
well
That's
on
good
radio.
audio. It's great.
Yeah, that's bad radio. But we're still going here. Still 2 cards at the top. His card draw is immense.
Yep.
He drew another same old thing. Not good. Not so useful right now. And I'm only 1 biotic away. I did go down to 2 credits,
Yep.
which is a big deal because if we're assuming that's an Eli on R&D, I'm 1 credit short.
Yeah. He's got time. He can put pressure on.
He doesn't have a lot of time, but he needs to put pressure on. He needs to lock the top of R&D. He needs to land that real easy, if he has a legwork, which his deck definitely has legworks, he needs to legwork as soon as possible.
Yep.
He did fisk me really hard, so I'm probably holding on to at least 1 agenda.
That's true.
I don't have enough money to res Crisium Grid.
Oh boy, that's true. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm at a really awkward spot. I think I goofed. I didn't realize the Emp Strike would remove me the 1 credit. I did calculate this so that I could score the agenda and still have 3 credits.
yeah.
But I messed up, so I'm only 2. Cyberdeck's off the top.
Okay.
Cyberdeck's Fire Suite. He chose not to trash it.
All right. Does that mean he's not running medium or he doesn't care?
I think that firstly means, he's not running medium.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. But secondly, it means that he wants me to draw that card and not another card.
Right.
What
Keep
the-
R&D locked, of course.
Keep R&D locked. That does add the ability for me to install a card into remote next turn and him to have less of an idea of what it is.
Yeah, it could be that upgrade and
Exactly.
oof.
Which is a bit rough, and he needs to be able to check every single card I install in a remote
At
from
least
now
he has
on.
a chance to know what it is. Whereas if he trashed it, he wouldn't. So
No, that's true. Yeah, exactly. I think it's worse if I draw something like a blue level clearance or a money card, maybe. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But yeah, I think that's just my positive edge gain of what I get out of this.
yeah. You're so sunny.
Yeah, always. Install a card into that server, now gaining me a credit.
And you've gotten 2 more. So now you're in hedge fund range. You're in scoring range.
But he has to check that card.
yeah, he does.
He has to, or he
But how is he going to
loses.
get in there?
Uh,
We still haven't seen him draw his barrier breaker, right?
No, he's been really unfortunate. Just more draw. Just
Okay,
more
more
draw is
more
always the
Fisk.
answer. He's fisking more cards in my hand. Again, the legwork is looking really juicy. If he can run HQ, legwork, maybe get a res on the Crisium, get a res on that other piece of ice, there's
Yeah.
a chance that he'll actually slow me down and I won't be able to score next turn.
Yeah, maybe.
He has a Fem. I think he has the Fem of Vanilla.
Yes,
He
he's going
has
to
the
Fama
Fem of
Vanilla. So he's spending 9 credits
Yep.
in order to be able to freely bypass the ice you resed for 0 credits.
Oh, the commentators that were on the live stream right now had a real fun time with this.
Yeah.
You have to do what you have to do.
Exactly.
This is it's not a question of pride at
Yeah,
this point.
yeah.
You have to get in.
Ice is ice.
Ice is ice.
Femme Fatale doesn't care which ice it is.
So we're getting into the server. Femme Fatale is also really good as a breaker, just so you can always use that in case
Yeah.
Mongoose gets cornered.
Exactly.
And that is the ABT. He needed to do that.
Yeah, he did.
He needed to get in there. I put that. I put that card in the remote assuming that he would get in.
Yeah.
I think at this point it's reasonable to say that he gets a paperclip or just fems out.
Sure.
And I'm okay losing 2 credits just to see what he's capable of. If he couldn't get in, that's an easy win.
Yep.
But I still only need to biotic something out. So it's not that bad. I think legwork is the scariest card at this point. And I am still holding a mid full of cards. I think the legwork looks really good at this point in time.
For sure.
He did 2 Fisks in a row, which did remove 2 agendas. Like 2 agendas have come out of that.
Have you even installed a Jackson Howard yet?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't used a Jackson. Yeah, no, things have been okay. Things I've been controlling this actually pretty well. I think the Fisks have make things a bit more messy.
I do love Fisk Investment Seminar. That's one of my favorite cards from Santan Cycle.
There's a meta in which it's better than other metas. In a fast advanced meta, that card was not so hot all the time, but it's getting okay.
Now it's okay.
It's really fun. There's double install in the remote. Triple install in the remote.
Triple install in that remote. So I'm thinking Breaker Bay, something defensive, and an agenda?
Between you and me, neither of those things exist in my deck.
Good. Okay, good. Cool.
I don't have Breaker Bay. I don't have anything defensive. And Aaron doesn't know for sure what deck list I'm running.
Yeah.
He actually could have guessed that I've just net decked something, so maybe he looked it up. I don't know. We did talk about our decks. We are pretty open about it. But he does have more money than me. So worst case scenario, he has to run through that twice and trash an Ash.
Yep.
A Caprice game might happen, but based off, I don't know how much influence we've seen that actually could be reasonable. I forget where the influence one went in this deck.
Wow, so what upgrades are you running?
None. Oh, 2 CVS.
God.
I think those are my 2 upgrades in the entire deck in that server.
Okay.
He can bet for sure that one of those, he's pretty sure one of those is a Cyberdex Fire Suite.
Yeah.
Because he saw that off the top.
He has
that's
to
an
assume
upgrade.
that.
Yeah.
If he just installed one card, he would just assume it's a Cyberdex. That's fine.
We're running HQ. Perfectly the other barrier.
Yep.
Exactly what I needed right at that point in time. It looks like he still hasn't drawn his damn paperclip.
Where is it? So there's just one in these decks. It's somewhere at the bottom.
It's so far in those bottom cards, he still has a paperclip and he still has a special order.
It's not that one.
It doesn't look like that's the one he wants. I think that's another Desperado. He can get into the server and he knows it. And he's going to do it always with 1 click left to spare in case he has to double run it for some reason.
Yep.
He also has time to load up Caddy. Very methodical play here. No siphons all game. Temujin's only fired twice.
Oh, that's true.
Things have been all right.
Yeah, you've been shutting down the usual criminal shenanigans pretty well.
He's emptying Caddy just in case he needs to maybe beat an Ash Trace or something.
Okay.
At this point in time, I ask him if he wants to access. And it is just in assembly lines.
Yep.
Which you can't use for its ability. You can use for 2 credits, though.
Yeah, you gain a little bit of money. He can trash it for 1 credit if he wants. He will, of course. That's very...
And then we have 2 separate accesses. That's a Cyberdex that he saw.
That's a Cyberdex, and that's a Cyberdex.
That's the Cyberdex that he didn't see.
I saw something interesting there.
Yeah. What is that?
So one of those is from the corporate champion deck, and the other one is from just a data pack.
Yeah. This totally warrants a discussion, and maybe another separate video. It's about edge gains, about whether or not you should run different versions of alt arts.
Yeah.
In this case, I didn't care enough. And I think in some cases it's advantageous to have 2, and sometimes it's advantageous to have mixes.
Really?
Just because I think if people see one alt art, they might assume you don't have another data pack and you only have one.
You think they're going to think, how much money does Andre make? How many of these can he buy?
Yeah, it's a financial
Does
choice.
he have 1 or 2 toll booths in this deck?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that comes up. But that's not the point right now. I know people mentioned that on the chat and what have you that were watching on the stream. Jackson is in that server.
Okay.
I did finally draw with Jackson, so now...
Fisk isn't such a big deal anymore. That's nice.
Yeah, Fisk is less of a deal. I have to respect whether or not he has Rumor Mill.
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
No.
That's a pretty hot splash in an Andy deck. I don't think it's a terrible splash.
It's pretty useful in this meta, of course, but...
It's super useful in this meta. I don't know if I threw out agendas. And even if I did, it's hard for him to get them because he has to either click through an Eli or
Right.
get his paperclip down.
Yep. It's one of those last, 10 cards?
Yeah, not a lot of cards there.
Less.
I did draw with the Jackson, so I was probably looking just for something like a biotic.
Yep.
And there we go. There is the special order.
He's going to look through how many... Was that literally the next card that he was going to draw? Well,
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about that. We're not going to think about that. That's just the way it goes sometimes.
Mandatory draw, and
there's
you go.
Biotic and the ABT.
That'll close the game.
Well, good game.
That is a huge sigh of relief. I did, of course, lose this matchup earlier in Swiss, and
Yeah.
I was able to pull that on. This means I'm on the finals of Canadian.
Yeah, you're on to finals. You're waiting to
What?
see who wins
Yes.
the next game, and then you'll play the winner of that.
Yeah.
And then you're almost there.
Yeah, I'm actually almost there.
Yeah. So Aaron still has a chance.
Aaron totally still has a chance. This was the undefeated table. So Aaron is going on to play Alex. And this
Cool.
is really interesting because I am confident I can beat Aaron. I also had to play Alex in the Swiss,
Right. You've played both of them.
and I lost both games pretty handedly to Alex. So right now I'm on Team Aaron. No offense, Alex, wonderful player, but I know I have a chance against. I played 3 games against Aaron and won 2 of them.
Yeah.
So
you're feeling good against Aaron.
He's my runner in this. He's my horse in this race.
Okay.
Do stay tuned. We have the lower bracket, the redemption finals coming up, and then we're on the finals.
I can't wait.
Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned.
Bye, everybody.
Ciao.